Yo, what is going on, guys? Jake here from the NRUK Racing League, and here we are. This is the day that everyone's been waiting for, the reveal of the NRUK Cup Series lineup and roster for this season. We're here now. There's been a lot of anticipation these last couple of days since sign-ups opened on Saturday and closed on Monday. And between those 2 days, a lot of build-up to who's going to land in what seat for Season 4. Thank you to everyone that signed up on my video. I appreciate that. And, yeah, we've tried to get as many people in as possible. I'm sorry if you did not get the car you wanted or you didn't get into the series. Again, we've had to make cuts some way or another, so I apologise for that. It's just the fairest way if we can distribute it to as many people as possible and as fairly as possible, so I hope you guys can bear with me on that one, and hopefully you'll be happy. If there's anything you're concerned about or you're not happy about, just message me off the video through Discord and a DM or a private message, and yeah, we'll talk about things there and we'll deal with it then. But without further ado, let's get into the drivers for this year's Cup Series. You know, the newly revamped NRUK Cup Series. It's going to be a great year, and I'm so looking forward to it. I'm motivated. Everyone else is, really hyped around this at the moment. So let's get into it. The first team up is going to be NBA Motorsports and the 66. And for this year, it'll be Samit Ozkan driving the 66 for the struggling NBA Motorsports. You know, they need a good year for sure. They lack sponsorship, but Samit was right in the battle for a title last year, but here he is trying to help this team move up the grid to try and get as best result as possible. So we're going to start off with the lower teams and build our way up to the big teams. I should have said that beforehand. So next up, Premium Motorsports. We have two cars in form of the 27 and the 15. And the 27 will be Dylan Ebrahimian. Again, a premium, a two-car operation right now, running some nice Chevrolets at the back of the field. Dylan Ebrahimian is the guy taking the 27, and in the 15, it'll be Jeremy Baylor, the rookie, making his NRUK Cup Series debut. Settles for Premium Motorsports in the 15. Let's see what he can do in an underperforming team. Can he get this car up the grid? We'll find out when the season starts, but that's your Premium Motorsports lineup. Next up, we'll move to the one-car team, which is Spire. And they've got Riley Snare in their car this year. So Snare picks up his Cup Series ride. 2 years on the bands now for Riley. And he moves across to Spire Motorsports. They have a good sponsorship, however, from FOE. So Spire's in a good place. And if they can wield some good results and keep out of trouble, we'll see how they can do as a team and as an operation, and Snare gets the call to drive for Spire this season. Next up is the gargantuan backmarker team of Rickware Racing and their 4-car fleet. They're on the ropes financially wise at the moment, with the season not even starting yet. So let's see who they've selected as their drivers this year. In the 51 will be Dylan Trieste. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably pronouncing it completely wrong. But Dylan in the 51, their kind of flagship car, if you like, even if you want to call it that. But Rickware Racing, their first driver will be Dylan Trieste. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly. I apologise to Dylan and his family. Next up, the 52, Brandon Grenier joins up with Dylan. That's 2 Rickware cars down now, and Brandon going to be behind the wheel of the 52 this year, so best of luck to him at Rickware Racing. And their third car, the 53, will be JJ Reed for this year. So JJ is back in the NRUK Cup Series, and here he is driving the 53 for Rickware Racing. And their final car, their fourth car, again, it's not the greatest ride, but Carter Friesen will be in the 54 for Rickware Racing this year in their Ford Mustang entry. They run 3 Chevrolets, 1 Ford, and Friesen takes the Ford Mustang entry for this year. Let's see what he can do in that team, with that team and in that car. And that ramps off the gargantuan lineup of Rickware Racing. 4 cars, they're going to have to do really well to make back the money that they've already spent building these cars and hiring their drivers for this year. Next is the Gaunt Bros, the 96. It's Felix Janssen, who's going to be behind the wheel of that Toyota Camry for the Gaunt Brothers. Again, they're going full time. This is the first full time season that we've seen them compete in. Got a lot of weight on Felix's shoulders coming in. He is a rookie. It's his first season in NRUK, but maybe they can pay off. Maybe they can, find some good performance in that Toyota Camry, and Janssen will drive for the Gaunt Bros next season. Starcom Racing is the next and the final kind of back market team we're covering, and it's Alex Reynolds driving 00. Starcom, of course, got that heavy sponsorship backing from Starcom filters, and Alex Reynolds in the 00. It's going to be hopefully a good match for him in his debut season in NRUK. A lot of debut seasons, it has to be added. Next up, we're moving up to under the mid-tier teams, or the middle of the pack kind of group. The guys that are, can have competitive days. Sometimes they're not competitive, but we'll get into them straight away here. And first up will be Go Fast Racing and their 32 machine, and Derek Hamill pilots that Ford Mustang this year. Of course, they announced their new partnership or technical alliance with Stuart Haas Racing. That is going to maybe help the performance of the 32, and Hamill's going to be the one that try and benefit from it. So Derek for Go Fast next season. Richard Petty Motorsports will be the next team on the grid, and Cody Smart is making a highly anticipated NRUK debut for Richard Petty, driving that famous 43. It's seen so much success, but has struggled in a recent couple of years. Can Smart rise back up to the top with that 43, or is it going to be a tough year for that team? Our next, Germain Racing, they've also got a one-car operation, and Luke Evans is going to be driving the Geico-sponsored Camaro machine this year. So, congrats to Luke, and welcome to the NRUK Cup Series, buddy. Here he is, and he'll be driving this wonderful-looking car this year. Now moving up to a few more higher teams, or well-known teams. The first one being Front Row Motorsports. This was very in demand coming into sign-ups. And a lot of drivers really wanted places on the team. So here we go. These are the guys that have got front row. First up, the 34. That is Kyle Hunter. We saw Kyle win multiple times last year in NRUK. And front row with a 3-car operation this year. It's going to be challenging for their drivers. But Kyle Hunter is definitely a good signing that they've picked up. And he'll be looking to, wield in some good results for that team. His teammate is going to be Mitchell Collins in the 36. Seen Mitchell kind of race around here before in NRUK, and here he is again. He will be driving for Front Row next season. And the final Front Row Motorsports car, which will be the 38. Diego Yepes is back in the NRUK Cup Series for another time round, and the 38 is his, the team that's called, give him the call, and Diego is eager to sign with them, and here he is. He'll be driving the 38 next season. So that runs off Front Row Motorsports. Next up, JTG Dougherty Racing. Another team that's really on the up at the moment. Good sponsorship, big sponsorship, and hopefully these drivers that we're going to see in a minute can take them to the higher grounds in the NRUK. First driver is the 37, and William Duncan will be driving for JTG Dougherty Racing next season. So congrats to William making his NRUK debut. And he'll be driving the 37 for Season 4. His teammate will be Zachary DeLello. We've seen DeLello around quite often here in the NRUK. He's got experience on his side, and hopefully that can give the Kroger-powered Camaro of JTG Dougherty Racing some much-needed success. So DeLello and Duncan are teammates, both racing for JTG. Up next, Levine Family Racing. And Jensen Edwards is coming in from Britain. So, Nottingham Scott was a British driver last season. Now he's got some company from his country in the garage. And Jensen Edwards is going to be racing for Levine Family Racing next season. Wood Brothers next. Of course, a very, very famous team. The 21 has had so much success over the years. Who's going to be driving for them this year? It'll be Alex Fletcher. Welcome, Alex Fletcher, to the league. And welcome to Wood Brothers. Fletcher's going to have a lot of weight on his shoulders, but that technical alliance with Penske has helped him so much over the past couple of years. It'll be interesting to see, what kind of stuff Fletcher can do with this team and how well can he perform for the Wood Brothers. We know they've got a lot of history, and Fletcher's just been a part of that history now. He joins Wood Brothers. Next up then, Richard Childers Racing, a team that struggled in the last couple of years in NASCAR, but trying to rebuild back to the top, and their first driver will be William Bulin. Again, a popular figure within Richard Childers Racing. He's been here many times, and he once again makes a return to that free car to drive it for another season. Trying to pick this team off the ground and, take them to championship contention once again. And his teammate will be Luke Rainey in the 8. Luke's back in the NRUK and back with Richard Childers Racing, driving the 8 next season. Can Richard Childers potentially be a dark horse? We'll find out in due course, I guess, when the season gets underway. Up next, Roush Fenway, again, kind of in the same position as Richard Childers, but a little bit better off in terms of the cars and equipment they've got. But again, they are in the rebuilding phase at the moment, and these two drivers are going to hopefully lead them to success. The first guy will be Mac Johnson, driving that beautiful Wyndham Rewards Ford Mustang for next year. So Mac joins up with Roush Fenway. Let's see what he can do for this team next year. And he's going to be partnered by the appropriately named Roman Fenway, who will be in the team's other car, the 17, sponsored by Fast and All. Are Roush going to return to the top step of the NRUK? That's all to be answered, really, but Fenway and Johnson are going to try and take it there, and there we go. Next up, then, are kind of the big, tier teams, the big boys, if so to speak, and who's going to join what team? We're about to find out very shortly. And up first, Chip Ganassi Racing. Joe Rutkowski is back in the NRUK, a big-name driver. Chip Ganassi had to fork out a lot of money for this contract, but I believe Joe's definitely a guy that can take them into championship contention, and they're very happy to pick up this signing in the one car. Monster Energy on board with them, and Joe's going to look for a very good Season 4 here in NRUK. And his teammate will be Nathan Stapleton in the 42. Stapleton's back, had a poor year with the team last year, but he's hopefully going to rebuild and have a better year this year. So Stapleton back in the 42. Next, the Team Penske for the captain, and first guy, of course, we know is Keith Stevens. He got a reserve for the 2 car. That's what he chose. So Keith will be in the 2. Next up, the guy's still looking for his first NRUK win. He's come so close, but yet so far, Nolan Scott has switched from Joe Gibbs to Penske this year and will drive the 12 for Roger. That should be a great ride for Nonagon, and hopefully we can see him grab that first career win soon. Of course, Penske are looking to be in and around the championship. We know what they can do in terms of their pace out on the track. And then the final car will be the 22, and Jake Richardson makes his return to Penske for the second year in a row. Jake Richardson will be behind the wheel of the Pennzoil 22. How well can he do? We'll find out, but Richardson definitely shown promise so far in the NRUK. 3 more teams left then. The first will be Joe Gibbs. Evan Hunter, back in the 11. 2 wins last year and a chase appearance was enough to reward him a contract extension at the team. And he's back driving the FedEx 11 car. Evan is back. And one of his teammates will be Mathis Wells, all-time winner in the NRUK, joint with Tim Gary. And Mathis took a season off last year on the sabbatical, but he's back. And he's back to win. We know what Wells can do in the NRUK. A very successful driver. And being paired up with Joe Gibbs, it could be an interesting year for this 18 team. Their other teammate will be Riley Spurley-Tube. So Spurley is back in the NRUK. And he'll be driving the 19 for Joe Gibbs this year. And the final car on the Joe Gibbs roster is the 20. It's Antonin Charbois, who is back and back under the Gibbs banner, driving that 20 car, which is vacated by Nonagon Scott. 2 teams left then, Stuart Haas Racing and Hendrick Motorsports. Stuart Haas Racing is up first, and their first driver will be the 4, Tim Gary. Yes, here he is. We Talked about him just a couple of seconds ago, being joint up on the wins list with Mathis Wells, and here he is, back in the 4 and back driving with Mobile 1 as a sponsor. We know, Tim can wheel these cars around in the NRUK. He's going to be a threat. He's always going to be there, hopefully, and I think he'll enjoy driving the 4 for Stuart Haas Racing this year. One of his teammates will be William Seaman, again, another guy who made a chase appearance last time out and will be in the 10, sponsored by Smithyfield. So congrats to William. Welcome to Stuart Haas Racing. In the 14 this year. Colton Yo back in the NRUK. This is a surprise for a lot of people. Colton took a lot of time off, but he is back and he is, making his return into NASCAR. And what a great way to start it by driving for Tony Stewart and Gene Haas in this incredibly competitive 14 team. Colton is back. And the final car completing the Stuart Haas Racing roster, the 41 Max Rossi, is here again, and he rounds off what looks a pretty strong lineup for Stuart Haas next season. Finally, then we go to Hendrick Motorsports, and the first driver we'll be reading is the 9 car, and that is Jeff Bright. Jeff won on Watkins Glen last season, and he makes his return in the 9 car. Next up, of course, is Alexander O, the reigning and defending series champion in the 24. He reserved it. We already knew that beforehand. Before this video was coming out, we knew Rowe would be returning to Hendrick, and here he is. The main question over was who got the 48 for Hendrick, and who's going to be driving that car this year. It is Keegan Thompson. So Keegan's struggled for success, really, so far, you'd have to say, in NRUK, but here he is, trying to, wheel the 48 around for Hendrick, and sure, hopefully Hendrick will be happy with this pickup. Keegan drives the 48 next year. And rounding off the Season 4 lineup and roster, it's the 88. And who else would it be but Eli Bright driving his beloved 88 machine. And Rick Hendrick was always going to bring him back for another time round. And Eli will be trying to hunt down for that title this year. That runs off a 17.5-minute video revealing the roster for this year's Cup Series. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you're happy with the rides you've got. We'll start the season this week, just at Daytona. It will be the 500. Any questions in the Discord, please ask me, and we'll get underway with the season in the next couple of days and weeks. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, this has been Jake Galloway, and we'll see you at Daytona. Bye-bye.